Hello, us for class. Today we are going to continue with Unit 1, Pre-Algebra Skills, and we are looking at order of operations today. So in our order of operations, you've probably heard that before. I think it gets introduced somewhere around 5th grade, if I recall. We're talking about PEMDAS. So you may have heard a teacher, a math teacher, call it PEMDAS. It's not really its name is really order of operations, but sometimes we say PEMDAS and that's what we mean. So we need to know the correct order in which to calculate problems. What each of these letters stand for are written in this set of boxes down below. So P is for parentheses. E is for exponents. M and D is for multiply and divide. And the reason why they're written on the same line, or the reason why they're both green down below, is because they happen at the same time. They go from left to right. And A is for add or addition and subtraction. And again, those are on the same line because they happen on the same line, left to right. So this graphic below is pretty nice. It's just a reminder as to which one comes first. So example 1, simplify using order of operations and show all of the steps. So what we're going to do is look for any parentheses first, which I don't have in that first example. Look for exponents, which I don't have, but I do have multiply and divide. So here's a multiply. We're going to do that first. 2 times 8 is 16. Then you want to bring down the other pieces, 25 minus 6 plus 16. Now we have add and subtract. Those are the last step. We're going to go left to right, so subtractions first. 25 minus 6 is 19, plus 16 gives us 35. I don't mind if you use a calculator to help you get to that last step, but I want to see all the steps written down. I want to see all the steps. For the next one, we're looking for parentheses again. I don't see any. No exponents, but I do have a multiply and divide. Here's the divide. Here's the multiply. We start on the left and go to the right next. So 8 divided by 4 is 2. 2 times 2 plus 18. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 18, now I'm up to my addition. 4 plus 18 is 22. Excellent. For example C, we are looking at parentheses first. The 6 plus 8 is 14. That's what we're going to take care of first. So 7 minus 14 divided by 2. I don't have any exponents, but I do have a divide. So I'm going to take care of the divide step next. 14 divided by 2 is 7. And 7 minus 7, that's add or subtract. 7 minus 7 is 0. Great job. On the next set, on example D, we're going to start inside. We're going to deal with parentheses first. But inside of those parentheses, we have addition and subtraction. So if we go from left to right, here's the left, here's the right. So 8 minus 4 is 4, plus 6, there's a 1/2 in the front. We're going to do the addition. 4 plus 6 is 10. There's a 1/2 in the front, and then I have multiplication. So 1/2 times 10 is 5. On the next set, we're doing parentheses first, letter E. 5 minus 3 in parentheses, that will be 2. Bring that little exponent, leave that there. Next on our list, we have exponents. We'll make those purple. 2 to the third really means 2. I'll put it over here. Times 2 times 2, which is 8. So this becomes 8 plus 2 times 6. Then we have multiplication. 2 times 6 is 12, so 8 plus 12 is 20. On the next set in letter F, we're dealing with parentheses again. So 2 plus 1 is 3. Bring down everything else. 8 times 7 minus 5 times 3. Let's look at multiplication and division. We want to go left to right. So on the left, 8 times 7 is 56. Minus on the right, 5 times 3 is 15. Those parentheses mean multiplication there. And then we have subtraction. 56 minus 15, I have to think about this one, is 41. Again, you can use a calculator to help you with those in-between steps, but I want to see all of those written out. So on the next page, you try these. I left you the PEMDAS example at the top as a little bit of a reminder, but you can pause your video here. You try these three and see what you get. All right, those are my answers to the UDO problems. I do want to talk about a few of these together. The first one is pretty straightforward with letter A. You want to do the division and the multiplication. We can go left to right. They're not next to each other, so that's okay. I'm left with 2 plus 8, which is 10. Letter B is tricky. Students try to subtract the 3 minus 4. But those are not in parentheses. You don't want to do that first. You want to do the 5 minus 10. So 5 minus 10 is a negative 5. Bring down the 3 minus 4. Again, don't subtract that. I know it's tempting, but the parentheses win. This multiplication comes next. So negative 4 times negative 5 is a positive 20. Then bring down the 3, then bring down the divide by 2. Over here, we have division next. 20 divided by 2 is 10. Bring down the 3. 3 plus 10 is 13. Letter C, do the parentheses first. You get a 4. 4 squared is 16. Then division, 64 divided by 16 is 4. 9 plus 4 is 13. So great job there. Example 2, same idea. I gave you a few more exponents and a few more parentheses this time. So in the first one, we're going to start off with our parentheses. I see a 6 plus 3 in parentheses, which is 9. In the next set of parentheses, I see 9 minus 10 divided by 5. So where do we start inside there? With the division. 10 divided by 5 is 2, and this is a negative 10. So this is a negative 2. Bring down the 9. Still inside of those parentheses, we're going to do a little bit of subtraction. Those come first. So 9 minus 2 is 7. Everything else just comes down. 9 squared plus 7. Now we have an exponent to deal with. So 9 squared is 81. Bring down the plus 7. 81 plus 7 is 88. Can you hear my dogs? All right, for example B, where do we start? You need to start inside the parentheses, but inside those parentheses, I see an exponent. So 3 squared becomes 9. Bring down everything else. 2 times 9 times 5 plus 9 plus 4. Still working inside those parentheses. 9 times 5, that multiplication is next. So 9 times 5 is 45, plus 9 plus 4. Still work inside those parentheses. 45 plus 9 is going to be 54, plus 4. This is multiplication over here on the left, so we want to make sure we're doing that. 2 times 54 is going to be 108, plus 4 becomes 112. And there's our answer. Again, use a calculator to check your work, but I want to see all the steps. In letter C, treat the numerator, which is the top, as one set of parentheses, and the bottom as another set. So do everything on the top, do everything in the bottom, and then we divide. So in the numerator, or the top, we have 4 times 6 over 3 times 2. When we multiply on the top, 4 times 6 is 24. In the bottom, 3 times 2 is 6. 24 divided by 6 is 4. Those are looking good. So example 2, a few more of these. We're going to keep going. More practice, more exponents. When I look at letter D, 3 minus 4, we get a negative 1 in here. So 25 minus 2 times a negative 1 squared. If we had the calculators at school, I know that they would do the correct thing. A few of you have asked, hey, what do I use for a calculator? I've written back and said, use your iPad. There's a calculator app in self-service. Use your cell phone if you need to. But sometimes not everything knows what to do with a negative 1 squared. You have to use parentheses. It really means negative 1 times negative 1, which is a positive 1. If you put it in your calculator as negative 1 squared, it will see it as negative 1 times 1 times 1 and tell you negative 1, which is not correct. So don't do this one. That's a no. Do the first one. So when we take care of those exponents, this negative 1 squared becomes a positive 1. I'm going to bring down 25 minus 2 times 1. So 2 times 1 is 2. 25 minus 2 is 23. In example E, or letter E, we are going to deal with those parentheses first, but inside of those parentheses, I have addition and division. So we want to do the divide by. 4 divided by 2 is going to be 2. So this is 1 plus 2 cubed minus 14 divided by 2. Inside those parentheses next, keep going, that's addition. So I've got 2. 1 plus 2 is 3 cubed minus 14 divided by 2. Then next we have the exponent. 3 cubed really means 3 times another 3, which is 27. So 2 times 27 minus 14 divided by 2. Then we have multiplication and division. So 2 times 27 is 54. Minus 14 divided by 2 is 7. 54 minus 7 is 47. And letter F, this one's getting kind of big. You want to handle the exponents that are in the top. So negative 4 squared is 16. Divide by 8 plus 2. On the bottom is 3 minus 8 minus 7. In the top we have division, so let's do that. Division in the numerator. 16 divided by 8 is 2 plus 2. 3 minus 8 minus 7, that's going to be a 1. So in the numerator, let's do some addition. 2 plus 2 is 4 on the top. 3 minus 1 is 2 on the bottom. 4 divided by 2 is 2. All right, good job. Oh my goodness, I have even more. I didn't even realize that. Simplify using order of operations and show all those steps again. For letter G, I see exponents. No, I don't. I see parentheses. 10 minus 8 is 2. So if I rewrite this problem, 80 divided by 2 times 2. Then we have to do multiplication and division left to right. I see a couple of them in here. Here's a multiply, here's a divide, here's a multiply. Start on the left. So 70 minus 60 plus 80 divided by 2 is 40 times a 2. Now I see a multiplication left. This is 80, so 70 minus 60 plus 80. Now we have addition and subtraction. Again, we're left to right. 70 minus 60 is 10 plus 80 is 90. For the next set, keep working in those parentheses. Brackets work just like parentheses, by the way. 25 divided by 5 times 5, because 2 plus 3 is 5. Work on the inside. 5 times 5 is 25. 125 divided by 25. And then division. 125 divided by 25 is 5. Good. Inside of letter I, we're going to work inside those parentheses first. I see multiplication and division. So 7 divided by 7 is 1. Here's my 4 plus times 6 minus 12. Here's 2 to the 4th in the front. Keep working. Parentheses, parentheses, parentheses are next. 4 plus 1 is 5. So this is 2 to the 4th minus 5 times 6 minus 12. In the beginning, we've got 2 to the 4th. So that's 2 times 2, which is 4, times 2, which is 8, times another 2, which is 16. Minus 5 times 6 minus 12. So you want to do multiplication. This is multiplication. 5 times 6 is 30, so 16 minus 30 minus 12. And then finally work left to right. 16 minus 30 is negative 14, minus 12 is negative 28. All right, good job. I think I have a couple for you to try. So go ahead, pause your video, try these on your own, and then come back and check your answers. All right, these are the solutions to the UDO problems. You can pause the video if you need to stop and look at the work. But for letter A, I think I have a little bit of a typo. I wound up with a decimal. I'm not saying you can't get a decimal, but most of these problems we had worked out to be integers instead of decimal numbers. Work inside those parentheses first. Work inside those parentheses first here and here, and then move all the way down. Letter B, again, inside those parentheses, work with your exponents, work all the way down. I got a 3. Letter C, you want to work in the numerator. This negative 9 squared, that's a tricky spot. Should be positive 81 divided by 3 plus 28. 81 divided by 3 is 27. I wind up with 11 when I'm all done. All right, same thing. Pause your video here and try these. All right, these are the solutions to the next you do problems. For letter D, there's a lot going on there. Start with the exponents, start inside those parentheses. I wind up with 206. Letter E, start in the numerator, start with the exponents, work your way through. I've got an 8, 9 times 3 is 27, and 11 divided by 11 is 1. So again, pause the video here if you need to stop and look at things, or a quick screenshot would help too. And I think that's it. That's awesome. So if you're working on your own through Edpuzzle or YouTube, go and complete practice number 1 after this once you've completed the notes. And let me know if you have any questions. Again, I want to see your work. I know it's tempting. I know it's very tempting to just say, hey, this is the answer I got in my calculator, but it's very important that we show our work because it's really good practice when we go to solve equations later. And I need to see a multiply by 4 on each side, or I need to see a divide by 6. So there you go. Keep up the good work. Keep turning your work in because I'm looking for them.